Alright, we are about 2 months late to the review of the OnePlus 12R, and I apologize for it. We only got the phone about a week or two ago, and here's our review for this phone. And before we proceed, I have to ask you guys to do something. Can you guys just subscribe to our channel? Because our videos here, we don't have any sponsors, and by just subscribing, that literally helps us out a lot, and thank you in advance. So, when we first unboxed the OnePlus 12R, the first thing that stood out to me here is the design. It looks very similar to the OnePlus 11's design. The camera cutout shape is the same, and I think the camera bump size is also the same as well. But instead of having a black circle for the cameras, it's now using whatever color the phone has. In my case here, the circle is in the cool blue color. The phone's shape is also very similar to the OnePlus 11 as it has curved edges. Both the back glass and the screen curves into the phone's frame, making it look extra premium. If you like this kind of design, then good. Now, for the screen of this phone, it is using a 6.78-inch OLED screen with up to 120Hz refresh rate, pretty typical, but the resolution is at 2780 by 1264 pixels, and it is an in-between of 1080p and 1440p resolutions. I have no idea why they opted for this kind of resolution, but it's better than 1080p, I would say. Still, the screen looks absolutely amazing, and from our colorimeter, it reports 99.92% of sRGB and 98.44% of DCI-P3 color gamut coverage, while having a maximum delta E of 2.5. However, the average delta E is very low, so I presume that maximum value of 2.5 is an outlier here. The maximum brightness though is at around 1200 nits. Yeah, I don't know how they got the number 4500 nits in their website, so I just can't get it. And if we check the footnotes, it says that this calculation is based on their own lab data. Yeah, they don't even publish the method they used to obtain the 4500 nits, so I cannot verify how they got that number at all. Realistically speaking, 1200 nits is what we're gonna get, and honestly speaking, it is plentiful even for bright sunny outdoor usage, so no worries there. Now, in terms of performance, our unit of the OnePlus 12R is equipped with 16 gigs of LPDDR5X RAM, which is excessive, and the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 chipset as well. I have to confess, there are certain aspects of the 8 Gen 2 that I think is just plain better than the 8 Gen 3. Case in point here, the sustained gaming performance. While we were playing games on the OnePlus 12R, we were seeing lower overall temperatures and also better sustained performance, hence stabler FPS even though it is not that high when it is peaking. Genshin Impact on this phone ran very good as it is close to 60 FPS but sometimes dropped to around 48-ish FPS. Another game that is highly demanding here is Karak Street, and that is also super smooth on the OnePlus 12R. I personally would have preferred the 8 Gen 2 more because it can sustain the performance over a longer period of time, and even when it does thermal throttle, it doesn't thermal throttle as hard as the 8 Gen 3. The Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 might be newer, but newer isn't exactly always better, as what we have shown in these recent gaming tests right here. But when we're not gaming though, that's where the 8 Gen 3 shines the brightest. You see, at lower power consumption, the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 can be much more efficient than the 8 Gen 2. Now, while this phone is touted to be using a 5500 mAh, it's technically not. The OnePlus 12R is only using a 2750 mAh in dual cell configuration at 7.82 volts. That means this phone is only using an equivalent battery size of 5500 mAh, but in truth, this phone has a 21.51 watt-hour battery capacity. To know what's the difference between milliampere hour and watt-hour, watch our video at the top right corner there. It is very important because many phones are starting to transition into dual cell batteries. Anyway, the 21.51 watt-hour battery can last for nearly 16 hours. We have to deduct 30 minutes from this test right here because I set the screen timeout to 30 minutes. But still, 16 hours in that standardized battery life test is really amazing, and I expected nothing less from OnePlus, and I'm pleased. However, the charging speed. Okay, let's take a step back. When I saw the box of this phone here, I immediately said, oh, there's no charger included, and I'm fine with chargers not being included in Apple or Samsung phones since they use USB PD PPS charging standard. And I have a super fantastic Ugreen 300 watts USB PD charger that I use to charge my ROG Ally, all of my other phones, and even laptops at full speed. The problem with OnePlus though, no, with all phones except for Samsung and Apple, is that they're using their own proprietary fast charging standard. All of these marketing points in their website are useless unless we use their own charger and cable. And they don't support USB PD PPS at all. So since the OnePlus 12R does not have a charger included, I can only test it with my Ugreen charger. And because this phone doesn't support USB PD standard, it can only take in a measly 17.45 watts maximum. And that means it will take 75 minutes to charge from 15% to completion. At least the battery temperature is low. And the software, I've always liked Oxygen OS since it's a cleaner version of Color OS, but this time it's not as clean as I remember. You see, when we launch a game, we can drag down this sidebar here and there's a bunch of options available, but there's a new one called Top Up Discount. I also can't help but to feel that this is a bit sketchy since there's no name of what service that OnePlus is using here. I had to dig the info and I found out that this service is provided by CGM. This is probably OnePlus's way to earn some affiliate money for purchases made through this menu, but I cannot confirm it. It seems like the shelf is also operating in a slightly different way compared to before. It is now behaving like a separate app because when I drag down from the home screen, the shelf appears, but when I press this button here, I can dismiss the shelf like an app. So yeah, that's why I say it is operating like an independent app right now. I mean, this could be a software bug, but I just still want to highlight this out for you guys to know. Other than that, the overall experience of Oxygen OS is still as amazing as ever, and I love this more than Color OS. OnePlus is also promising 4 years of Android upgrades and 4 years of security patches for the OnePlus 12R. Oh, by the way, the OnePlus 12R also has an alert slider at the left side, and we have a total of 3 levels like before, so this is a great feature to have. My one problem with the OnePlus 12R though is actually the cameras. With such a big camera bump that looks like the OnePlus 11, I expected kinda similar camera performance, but no. The telephoto camera has been replaced by a 2 megapixel fixed focus macro camera, whereby the ultra-wide angle camera is now downgraded to an 8 megapixel sensor. Specs aside though, the pictures coming out of this phone is mediocre at best. The main camera, even though it is using the exact same camera sensor and lens as the OnePlus 11, it does not share the same color signs. I mean, these pictures are taken with the OnePlus 12R are just very dull. Both indoor and outdoor shots just look very boring. Night shots have decent colors, but the quality is just not good. As for the ultra-wide angle camera, yeah, this camera is just not that good. That 8 megapixel camera sensor produces some of the fuzziest pictures that I've seen, but I think it is still good enough if you just want to post it to social media and whatnot. And a few more things to mention about the OnePlus 12R. It comes with a USB 2.0 port at the bottom of the phone, so that means no display output via this port as well, which is to be expected. It also has a dual SIM card slot with no microSD card slot, no audio jack, which is also to be expected. It does, however, have an IR blaster at the top. Now, the price of the OnePlus 12R is at 3,199 ringgit Malaysia, and I'd say the price is okay as OnePlus does offer their signature features like the alert slider, and it also has a higher than usual resolution, but still below 1440p, while the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 still offers an amazing gaming experience. Combined with the larger 21.51 Wh battery, this phone can last you throughout a day or maybe 2 on a single charge. And also, let's not forget, 4 years of software updates means that this phone can last us for a pretty long time. What's lackluster about the OnePlus 12R is, as mentioned earlier, the cameras. Like what you saw earlier, they're just not that good. While some people might say not having a charger in the box is also a problem, I'd say that's not the main issue. The main issue is that OnePlus phones can only take in 17.5 watts via USB PD. If OnePlus supports at least 45 watts of USB PD, then I'd actually support OnePlus's idea for not including a charger in the box. It's their own proprietary standard bullcrap that caused all of these issues. And yeah, that's all that I have to share with you in this video right here, the OnePlus 12R. It does have some glaring issues, but other than that, it's a fantastic phone. So do let me know down in the comment section below, what do you think about this phone, and will you buy this phone at that price? Yeah, would like to hear all your thoughts and whatnot, so I'll see you guys down in the comment section below. So do subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next video as well.